Hey mama, how's it going? It's Jocelyn here with Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood, and I am excited to bring you another episode to help you find some ways to cope when you are feeling alone in pregnancy. I don't know if you have ever felt that, but I know there were a lot of times when I kind of felt alone and secluded in pregnancy, and it was hard. So let's go through some mindset tips and tricks that can help us shift, and also some physical tactics we can do. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life. And I can help you. Thanks for joining. Pregnancy in ways can involuntarily seclude us, and you probably know what I'm talking about. You don't really volunteer to be secluded, you just feel like crap and you don't want to be around anybody, so you involuntarily seclude yourself from being with other people. Or at least that is how I dealt with being sick most of the time. I kind of dealt with that as just holding up in my home and kind of surviving. And it was not the most enjoyable season of life. In fact, pregnancy felt very hard. That is one of what I named my Facebook page and group, is actually Pregnancy is Hard, because it was moments like that where it was hard and it was trying. I was secluded and I was alone, and I didn't really want that. I wanted to keep living my life normally, but I was so sick that I couldn't even hardly get off the couch to get myself dressed, or the bed, wherever I was at the moment. And it was hard. It was hard physically, but it was also very hard for me mentally. And I have had 4 babies and a miscarriage now. And I have learned some things, especially in my last 2 pregnancies, when God told me, or kind of prompted to me, that I needed to try harder and work a little better at the mindset, because I always wanted more kids, but my mindset was in a very negative spot. I didn't like pregnancy. I didn't like the sickness. I didn't like gaining weight. I didn't like how uncomfortable and tired it was. You know what I'm talking about if you've been pregnant before. There are some hard things in it. But God told me I needed to start looking for the good instead of all the bad. And sometimes I really think it's just a simple mindset shift like that. Start looking for the good instead of looking for the bad. You will find both in any situation that you are in. Sometimes it might seem that there are more evidences of negatives, and sometimes there are more evidences of positives. It's harder when we're in the negatives to find the positives, and that is what this podcast is here. It is here for. It is here to help you to find those positives, to choose to think positive thoughts about pregnancy and carrying a baby within your womb, instead of dwelling on the negative and hard ones that can kind of knock us off our feet a little bit. So when you are feeling alone, the first tip I want to give you is to remember that God is always with you. He never leaves you, and He is always there, even in your hardest moments. Even when it feels like He is not there, He is always there and supporting you. And God wants you to have this baby. In the scriptures, it appears repetitively, multiply and replenish the earth, that you may have joy in your posterity. There are good promises for having children like that in the scriptures, and He is there, and He is rooting for you in this hard season. Remembering that God is there and can help you when you are feeling alone is my first tip for today's episode. God is always with you. My second tip, I don't know how to describe this, but it's kind of I was going to try and come up with a good way to describe it. I do know how to describe it. But I wanted to think of something clever and nothing came to me. So you're just going to get it raw. And that is to pick up a good book. A good book can always bring you friends. Sometimes you can jump into the characters' lives and it can help distract you from your pain. And not only from your pain, but from being alone. Because you become friends with these characters. And then you get excited about it. And you want to share and talk about this book with others who have read it and their intakes or their takes on the characters. And it can be very thrilling to pick up and read a good book to help you not feel alone. This was a good resource for me because I liked to read, and getting distracted and having that distraction take some time was so nice. It was so nice when I was feeling like life was hard. I need to distract my mind. Maybe we can't always go from the negative to the positive, but we can go from the negative to a distraction. And maybe that distraction can help us go to a positive. There are steps in this journey, but that is the second tip, to find a good book to read. The third tip, now this will depend on where you're at in your pregnancy. I know for me, I did not want to go places when I was sick. I preferred to stay home in my bed or on my couch and not leave. The third tip is to go places. Get out. Stop secluding yourself. Let's say you needed to seclude yourself during the sickness phase, so you picked up a lot of good books to read, but now the sickness phase is kind of over and you get nauseous on occasion, but it's not as bad. Go places, go to stores. Even if you don't buy anything, just walk around a store. Be in the vicinity of other human beings. Go to the library and just browse the books. Pull out some of the children's books and flip through the pictures. Go to a park or take a class. But do something that gets you out so that you're not stuck at home and physically alone all the time. Do something to be around others. And the fourth tip was also a little bit hard for me, but it can help so much. And it is such a blessing when you do this. Not only does it bless you and fill your cup, but it blesses others. And it just depends on how you look at it. If you look at it as a burden, then yes, it will feel like a burden. But if you look at it as a blessing, it's amazing how many lives you can touch by asking for help. I know I didn't say that for a minute, but the fourth tip is asking for help, meaning ask people to come visit you. Ask your mom to drop by into your home, even though she hardly ever drives by. Ask your sisters to come and take turns, or your in-laws, or friends. In my church, we have something called ministering sisters, and the ministering sisters are kind of assigned to help you or to be your friend when you are in need. Call on these ministering sisters and let them know you're struggling and that you need some company. You need a little bit of help inside your home because you are feeling alone, and you need that. You are worth it, Mama. You are worth other people helping. Maybe they don't always answer the way that you want them to. Just move on from that. Don't make it mean anything. Just let it go and ask the next person, because you are worth it. You are worth it. Being alone can be really hard, and being alone and being sick can even amplify it and make it harder. If you are really struggling to find positivity in pregnancy, if those around you and this podcast aren't quite enough to help you through some of these really negative and hard experiences that come with pregnancy, I encourage you to look into my Positive Pregnancy program. They are 2 to 6 minute videos where I encourage you in 3 different areas to shift your mindset, to shift the thoughts you are thinking for more positivity. The areas are gratitude, changing the negative to the positive, and pregnancy-specific affirmations, just for you in this pregnancy season. Right now, there are 31 of these mini videos, with the rest to be added this spring. which I am really excited about. Now, you're probably thinking, if there are going to be more videos added, why buy it now? Well, buy it now because you will get access to all the videos that I will add to it. They will automatically be available to you. And once I get all the videos on it, the price is going to increase. So buy now if you are needing some more positivity in this pregnancy and you're struggling to find it. These videos don't require you to move. They don't require you to get off the couch. They just require you to work your mind, to allow your mind to work through these exercises to help you find the negative, or release the negative is what I meant to say, and find the positive, which is what we want to do in pregnancy. Today, I wanted to give you a quick summary of what 4 tips we talked about with being alone. Tip number 1, God is always with us. Tip number 2, read a good book. Tip number 3, go places. Go to a store, a library, a park, or take a class. And tip number 4 is to ask for help. Mama, I am cheering for you because I personally know how hard this season of pregnancy can be. If you want support from other mothers in pregnancy, I encourage you to find my Facebook page, which is called Pregnancy is Hard, and we also have a group, Pregnancy is Hard. And if you even want further information on myself, the podcast, or the Positive Pregnancy Program, my website is pregnancyishard.com. I am cheering for you. I know you can do this. You are amazing, and your body is amazing, and it is doing amazing things in growing your baby. Don't let Satan or the adversary convince you otherwise. God needs you. Your family needs you. And you need you in these endeavors to shift your mindset to find more positivity in pregnancy. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving this podcast a rating and review on iTunes. And most of all, thank you so much for implementing what you learn into your life, because that is how true change happens, when you implement what you learn into your life. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.